Hello YouTube, my name is Gauntlet, and welcome back to my World at War game series. Day 5 is about 3 hours in, and I managed to top the leaderboards in VPs. My invasion of Marin Ho has just started. So far I have not encountered heavy resistance, because he's most likely still fighting down here. One good tactical move I've done is I've force marched my stack of 4 right here. And the reason I did this was because now it will get to Imperatriz before the Marin Ho units will, and allow me to be on the defensive in this battle. Whereas if I was not force marching, then I would be attacking him, or we would be attacking each other simultaneously. The reason I'm using destroyers instead of submarines right now is because I need the speed of the destroyer to guard my entire coastline, to reinforce battles just in case I found convoys out here, or we started building more ships here, or if I found out I was being invaded over here. Destroyers can get around more quickly and get into those battles. Destroyers can also shoot and scoot. So once this red dot gets in this radius, I can fire, deal damage to this South Mexican destroyer, and not get fired back on. Whereas submarines, I would actually have to engage him directly to deal damage. But I am building a couple subs because they are cheaper to make and to upkeep. So I'll be starting to use more of these just as some coastal defense. And retreating. We are now about 8 hours into day 5. My invasion of Marin Ho is going pretty well. About to take his capital. I forced him to retreat into his cities, and although I've only killed 2 of his infantry units, I'm in a good position to receive the rest of them, because I'm cutting him off right here from his cores. So he's going to have to attack me in order to have his men from down here reinforce his cores. Meanwhile, I can use my artillery to bomb him out of his cities, continue my push to take the rest of his cores, and hopefully kill his units as they try to push and counterattack me. For Mexico, he actually sent me a peace treaty. He called his allies incompetent. I accepted the peace treaty, of course, because I don't want to fight him and use up all my resources building ships, but I am wary of him lying and him trying just to use that peace treaty so that he can land his troops without my ships being able to kill them as they land. So I am wary about that. But I'm hoping that he's telling the truth so I don't have to worry about him for right now. Because North Brazil's crippled, Marin Ho is about to be crippled, North Argentina is strong, but if it's just going to be me versus North Argentina, I am confident I could win that matchup. Because the rest of the South American continent is AFK, and with Peru being pretty passive, if I can kill North Argentina, then South America is as good as mine. Quick look at some tactics before I go AFK. Marin Ho is setting up his infantry, and I plan to make a stand here because I can get my own infantry there in time in order to defend and have that advantage. Also going to bring down some artillery, but I'm not going to make a stand here. I'm actually going to retreat for Moros because he has 4, and although I could have this light tank defend, it would be better for me to just fall back from here and have it fight in a more favorable battle somewhere else, like here. And I'm force marching it so that it gets there before these get there, so he will be defending as well. Same with this guy. This guy's going to be here in time to defend. And I don't care if this 4 infantry keeps going. None of this land is worth anything to me. He can go as far as he wants. Instead, what is worth something to me are my units, because I'm so far away from home that reinforcing them is going to be really hard. So I want to minimize my losses and deal as many losses as possible, because my army right here is quite limited. As day 5 comes to a close, I am being a little bit overwhelmed. So North Brazil has constructed an army group that he's sending over here. I killed a couple Marin Ho infantry stacks, but he still has 2 cities that he's producing units from, and he's trying to launch a counterattack. But the big threat is North Argentina, because I saw he had 6 tanks moving from this province to this province, and now I'm just seeing another stack coming from here. So he obviously has 10 plus units already in North Brazilian territory about to attack me. So I'm going to use the same tactic I used before against Marin Ho stacks here. I'm going to try to defeat them in detail by killing this stack with the units I have here, and then as these units are fighting, I'm going to play defensive with these, retreat, and hopefully by that time this battle will be done and I'll send reinforcements over to help fight these stacks. The rest of my push into Marin Ho will be very slow, as I can only afford to have these units on this front. So once day change happens and I stop any revolts from these 2 cities from happening, I'm going to continue my push east, secure this, and then send them back to the main battle, which is going to happen in North Brazil. I have plenty of resources, but I can't build units fast enough to keep up with all the losses I'm taking fighting these 3 nations at the same time. Luckily, South Mexico appears to be following the peace agreement that we agreed upon. So that's good. Here are the casualties in the war so far. In terms of diplomacy, my relationship with Peru is still stable, and California has offered me a spot in his Confederate coalition, which is made up of him and South USA. I am tempted to join, but of course, if I still want to go for my solo victory, I would have to leave that coalition, and so I'd be kind of lying in a way by joining his coalition and then leaving afterwards. So I'm going to hold off from joining this as long as I can. Hopefully I can win this war without getting outside assistance. This is a pretty hard war, as I'm fighting the combined economies of North Brazil, Marin Ho, and North Argentina. Of course, I'm not fighting their divisions all at the same time. I'm being strategic about it. I'm picking my battles as much as I can and trying to hold the initiative, but this is still very hard. And so victory is not assured for me by any means. That concludes this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, leave a like, and comment any advice you have. I will see you on the battlefield.